Page 1, number 1. Which shows the solution for the following system of equations? Okay, so we have two equations. We have y equals negative 4x plus 6 and x plus 4y equals 8. So this first one right here, we should know how to graph at this point, right? So let's go ahead and graph that one as if we know what to do. So first, we want to take this number, this plus 6, and we're going to go on our y-axis, which is here, and we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is right at the top of my graph. Okay, so remember, we plot our y-intercept first. Then we're going to take our slope, which is negative 4 over 1. So we're going to go our rise over our run. So we have a slope of negative 4 over 1. Remember, we can always put any standalone number over 1. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go to the right one. Now, question, why did I go right, not left? Well, let's keep going with this a little bit farther. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Now let's connect our dots. So I want you to remember our little man. So we have a negative slope. And if you remember our little man, right, going left to right, he should be walking downhill. So is the little man going to be walking downhill? Looks so. So that looks good. So there's our first line. So if we know that this is what our line looks like, let's go to our graph. So it's hard to tell, but it looks like maybe this line is that line. But let's look at graph B, right? Does graph B have this line graphed? Is there a y-intercept at 6? It doesn't look so. So we could go ahead and cross that one off right off the bat. And then, so now we have both C and D. So it looks like C and D both have that line and that hits at 6. So now we have the choices A, C, or D. So it's up to us now to deal with this other line, this x plus 4y equals 8. So let's give a little bit more space here. Let's write this out. X plus 4y equals 8. So once again, we need to get this y by itself. So if I draw my line, I'm going to subtract x from both sides because this x is a positive. And so I want to eliminate from the left and I want to get it over to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 4y. And then I'm going to combine these two and write it so we can then be able to graph it. So we want that y equals mx plus b form, right? We want this form to be able to graph in. So I'm going to go ahead and put my negative x first. And then this 8 is positive, so then I'm going to put plus 8. So if you notice, we're almost into y equals mx plus b form, right? We still have a 4 here, so we're going to go ahead and divide this by 4, divide this by 4, and divide everything by 4. So we keep it balanced. So these 4's cancel, and now I'm left with y equals, and we're going to rewrite this as negative 1 over 4x, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now we have this other graph that we can now graph. So remember, we would graph this plus 2 first. So I go to my graph. Here's positive 2 right here. And then we need to do a slope of negative 1 over 4. So now let's go down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if we graph this, it looks like it's going to go right through like that. And so we are now looking for the graph that intersects right about there. So I'm not going to tell you what point that is, and I don't even think it matters, but once you solve this other graph for y, then you graph them both on the same graph, just like this, and then you see where they cross. And so hopefully you should be able to match that answer up pretty easily for number 1. Page 1, number 2, solve the system of equations by graphing. So again, we always want to get these in the form y equals mx plus b, right? So if we look at the first one, let's write that first one down. Y equals 5 over 2x minus 5. Okay, so you're going to graph this on your own. I'm not going to do this one with you. But remember, this is what you're going to plot first. And this is your y-intercept. Then you're going to pull this number next to the x, and this is your slope. And your slope is 5 over 2, so that'd be your rise. This would be your run, and it's positive, so it looks like your little man is going to be walking uphill when you walk left to right. So plot this based off of this point, okay? So after you plot this point on your graph, then do your rise over your run from the point that you plotted. And it should look like that. So that's your first line. So now we need to go on to our second equation, which is x minus 2 over 5 y equals 2. So this is not in the form that we like. This is not in y equals mx plus b form. So this does not look like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make this look like this. So let's go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract x, because I want to get this x over to the other side. So that's gone. So now I have negative 2/5 y equals, I'm going to bring my negative x first, and then I'm going to put my positive 2 second. And I can't combine these because this is a number and this is a variable, so I can't add those together. So now we're close, right? I need y equals mx plus b. Well, I have my x in order and I have my b in order, but this is not alone. I still have these numbers here to deal with. So I'm actually going to multiply. I'm going to do a little math trick here. I'm going to multiply by negative 5 over 2, because a negative times a negative becomes a positive. My 2's are going to cancel. My 5's are going to cancel. My negatives are going to cancel, which leaves me with y. And so if I do that to the left, I also have to do it to the entire right side. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to distribute this to both those numbers. So negative 5 over 2 times negative x, well, negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to get 5 over 2x. And then a negative times a positive is a negative. This 2 and this 2 are going to cancel each other off, which leaves me with a 5. So I want you to look at this equation and look at that equation. What do we notice? Well, they are the same. So let's look at our choices here. I have a point, which means there's one solution. No solution means those lines don't cross, and infinitely many solutions means that these two lines are the same. So I worked this one out for you and I gave you the solution because we didn't have to graph them. If it's the same line, it's infinitely many. So you're welcome, you can have that one. Number 3, which point is not a solution to the system of equations graph below? Okay, so we're given 2 equations, right? And I went ahead and wrote those down here for us. And then we're given 4 choices, A, B, C, or D. So the way we tell if it's not a solution is we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in these points into both of these, and they should both be true. And if they're both true, then that's not the answer we want for. We want to look for ones that are false. Okay, so let's do the first one together, and then I'll let you try the other 3. So the first point we're going to deal with is negative 3, 10. Okay, so remember, each point comes with an x and a y. So I'm going to take this x and I'm going to replace that x with negative 3. Okay, so I bring down the rest of my equation. So now I've changed my x into negative 3. And then I've also brought down my 5/2, and that's 5/2 times the y value, which is 10. And that equals 12. So now we're just going to evaluate this, and we should get 12 equals 12 here, and that means it's true. So negative 3, 5 times 10 is 50, right? 5 times 10 is 50 divided by 2 is positive 25, and that equals 12. And so I now get negative 3 plus 25, which is 22, and that doesn't equal 12. So this is false. So that's actually a good sign right off the bat. This should be our answer. Let's check it in the other equation though. So once again, I'm going to put my y value, which is 10, in for this y. So I get 10. Bring down my 2/3. I'm now going to replace this x with this x value, which is negative 3. And then I'll bring down my plus 8. So now I'm going to multiply this. Well, 3 and 3, they cancel, right? So now I get 10 equals, and then I have a 2 times a negative 1 here, so I get negative 2 plus 8. And think of this as 8 minus 2, which is 6. So this is also false. So most likely your answer should be this one, because it's not a solution. If we were to check the others like 4, 5, 0, 8, or 3, 6, they shouldn't work when we plug these in. I'm sorry, they should work when we plug these in. And so they should all be true, true, true. So you should go ahead and check those to make sure I did my math right. Number 4, a line is graphed on the coordinate plane. A second line will be graphed given the system of equations solution of 2, -7. Which could be the equation for the second line? Okay, so this was a little easier. They're giving you this point now, and it's telling you that's the solution. So in order for that to be the solution, we already know it's the solution to the first line. So which could be an equation for the second line? Well, we just need to check and see if this point will make any one of these 4 equations true. So let's just start with A. A is y equals 1/2 x minus 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this point to -7 and plug it in. So this is my x, this is my y. So taking this information, I'm going to replace this y right here within -7. Just a simple substitution. Bring down my 1/2. I'm going to replace this x with the value of 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate this out. 1/2 of 2 is 1, and then we get 1 minus 8. And so if we look, -7 equals 1 minus 8 is -7. So this is true. So if we explain this correctly, then this, once again, should be your solution, because we got -7 equals -7. So now let's look at what happens for B real quick. I just want us to take a look at that and make sure that we are on the right track for this one. So let's take the second one, y equals 1/4 x plus 3. And let's go ahead and plug in that same point to -7. So there's your x, there's your y. So let's put the y in for the y, which is -7. Then I get 1/4. And we're going to plug in the x value, which is 2. So now I replace my y with my y, my x with my x, plus 3. So -7, bring that down. 1/4 of 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, divided by 4, so that's 0.5, plus 3. So when we evaluate this, we get -7 equals 3.5. And that's definitely false. So looking at this chart, it's looking pretty strong that we did A correctly. If we were to do C and D, what do you think would happen?